Welcome to Streamlining Data Governance and Integration with Unity Catalog. My name is Dennis, and I'm from KPMG US. I'm here with Mohana, and we're going to be presenting to you the work that we've done over the last year, really. We went into production last June with Unity Catalog. I was here at this conference 2 years ago and got really excited about the opportunities that Unity Catalog would present. So we've been in production, as I said, for a year, and we've started to expand on the benefits of the tool and taking advantage of the different capabilities. So, Mohan, if you want to go through. So for those of you that don't know who KPMG is, we are a leading professional services firm focused on audit, tax, and advisory services to clients really across all industries around the world. Several years ago, we had a legacy data estate that was similar to a lot of large companies. Probably we had a lot of on-prem infrastructure assets, and we made a decision to modernize that environment. And so I'm not going to drain this slide, but Mohana, if you want to go to the next slide. We are a Microsoft partner, and we have a really strong relationship. We chose Azure as our platform of choice, and we have been on that journey since I think we went live in June of 2021 with Azure Data Lake. August with Azure Databricks, and we've been building on the lakehouse architecture since then. So we went all in back in 2020, 2021 on the lakehouse architecture, and we really feel like we're well positioned now to take advantage of some of those capabilities. I want to go to the next slide, Mohana. Azure comes with a lot of inbuilt capabilities, but for us, Azure Databricks was really a key component. And so making sure that we were able to leverage Databricks for the self-service components, the interactive collaborative environment. We saw a couple of years ago that metadata was going to be key to our ability to manage and govern the environment moving forward. And Unity Catalog, as I said, was highlighted here in 2022. We went all in on that, and we feel like we're well positioned, as I said, for the era of BI AI that some of you may have heard about this morning. Can we go to the next page? I'm speeding through these pages because we've got some really interesting notebooks that I want Mohana to be able to share with you, but I thought that it would be important for you to see the reference architecture. This is obviously very high level. It doesn't include all of the bits and pieces that we have in our ecosystem. We are a very large firm, but I wanted to show this because we've got a presentation tomorrow with Informatica where we talk about how we use Databricks and Informatica in an Azure environment to really give us that robust set of capabilities that allows us to move towards trusted AI. So you hear a lot of people talking about the algorithmic side of AI, but for us as data management professionals, I sit in the CDO organization, and data governance and data management is central to what we're doing. It's great to be able to apply some of the tools that we've used historically, like Informatica, but really to complement the Databricks capabilities that we have listed here. So we don't show it on ingestion, but we do use Databricks to do some form of, actually we do, the slide was updated. You see that, but then we have a traditional medallion architecture. We use notebooks for transformation and for data science, and obviously the whole world of generative AI has brought a whole new set of personas and use cases to our doorstep. We try to support all three personas as we describe them. It doesn't list administrator and some of the other things, operator, but if you think about a coder, that's someone that's generally speaking operating in a notebook. A clicker is someone that's taking a CSV file and creating a visualization off of it with one of the great tools that we have. And then a consumer is someone more like me that is just receiving these artifacts or these assets now. If you want to go to the next page. So we implemented Unity Catalog as part of a broader set of initiatives that we had defined by something we called Security by Design. Security by Design really looked at our end-to-end supply chain and looked at places where we could introduce technology to harden that environment. So I'm not going to read everything on this page. If you don't know what Unity Catalog is yet, you're going to learn a lot more about it over the course of the next couple of days, because I think it's going to be central to Databricks' story over the next year. If you want to go through to the next page, I think this is the point where I transition over. So we use it for real-time data lineage, for a single interface to manage access control, as a method for sharing for those of you that were here last year, we did a presentation on delta sharing. Our ability to perform impact analysis with Databricks Assistant is really cool. Sharing data across clouds, so we've shared data with AWS across regions, and from a metadata management perspective, we think it's going to be central to a universe that really is awash in metadata, right? Every tool now has a metadata component. How do we bring it all together? We think that story might be Unity Catalog. Mohana?
Good afternoon, everyone. Mohana here. So I'm sure everyone is familiar with Unity Catalog architecture. So Unity Catalog offers a unified data access layer that provides users a simple and streamlined way to define and connect to their data through managed tables, external tables, and files sitting on volumes. So Unity Catalog also leverages external location credentials to read and write data to your cloud tenant on behalf of the users. So next, I'm going to talk about what is this? How did we manage the privileges and who can do what? So we have various roles to execute various tasks. So we had account admins, metastore admins, workspace, catalog owners, and account users who will be performing various tasks like as listed on the left side, be it creating a metastore or managing users or groups, or creating workspaces, creating clusters, or managing them, or creating catalogs, whatnot, right? So we have different roles to manage the different tasks based on their privileges. So now I'm going to talk about the capabilities, key capabilities that we enable in our environment. So we have delta sharing, where we are sharing data internally as well as with our external clients. Data classification and tagging, we enable that for securing our sensitive data, and applied the governance policies based on the column level and row level security to protect our sensitive information. And we mask the data for obfuscating our sensitive data and protect our sensitive information. So audit logging and dashboard, that is another capability that we have enabled. And cost tracking also is another one where we have leveraging the system table from with partnering with Databricks and having the delta sharing those system tables. And converted all our legacy external tables to managed tables, so that's another one. And we have enabled Delta Live tables, and also enabled SQL, serverless SQL warehouses. So now let's talk about how I would like to double click into one of the key components that we have enabled, which is the row level and column level security. So some background, what is row level and column level security? So both row level security and column level security are two methods that can be used to apply security by imposing restrictions on data access. So column level security, it allows for specific users to access only certain columns of a table relevant to the department or protecting sensitive data. RLS, which is the row level security, on the other hand, restricts users to access only the data rows pertinent to their role or department. So both these methods, they can locate the restriction policies which are available through Unity Catalog and apply the restrictions every time a data access is attempted by a user, thus making our application secure and robust. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is we have secured our data and how that security remains intact when users are trying to access the data outside the Databricks through using a Power BI report or something like that. So now I'm going to get into the demo. So here, before I get into the demo, some key concepts here. So I'm going to use Databricks notebooks to execute a bunch of code. First thing is we need these objects, database objects. So we'll have one set for row level security and another set for column level security. So there are 4 database objects that we're going to use, and the first one is a mapping table, and that mapping table is holding the security rules that we are going to store associated with the column level security. And then once we apply the tags, those tags are available in your information schema in the table tags table. So that is where you'll be using that object. And then we are going to join these two and create a view. So the mapping table and the column tags will be joined to create a view. And then what we're going to do is create a history table, that's the fourth object, for tracking any changes that are happening to your rules or any new attributes got added, something like that. So we are tracking those changes in the history table. So we have a similar setup for row level security. So 4 objects are used. This is all what we need now. Okay. So let's dive into the demo. So I have a bunch of notebooks, as I said. I'm going to execute that. First thing is I'm going to go ahead and execute this notebook to create the objects. So first I'm doing a row level security. So those 4 objects are going to get created. And in parallel, I'm going to execute the column level security attributes as well, the database objects. So once those objects are getting created, next thing is I'm going to apply the tags. So the tags, the table tags and the column level tags. So this notebook is applying the tags, and this is how you see that my the table name, tag name, and tag value are showcased on this displayed over here. So this is after I apply the tags, and these are available in the information schema. Now I have a bunch of rules that I'm going to insert them into the mapping table. So this is the mapping table, and these are the rules that we have created to demonstrate here. So basically a user is could be part of any of these groups. As you see there, they're all separated by a pipe, which is an OR condition. Now here, this is a filter, row level filter that can apply where currency code is in US dollars or Canadian. So that is how it's just a sample rule over there. And here, this is how we can apply the column level security. In this screen, what we have seen is column level security rules have been applied, and a user should be able to see certain columns based on their role or the Active Directory they belong to. And now I'm going to execute this another notebook where I'm taking these configuration files, and as you see here, these are my columns and my data classification and the tags. And these are my rules that are embedded into the mapping table. And as you see here, based on the user's Active Directory group where he belongs to, we can, this is an example of where we have masked a social security number. So based on the Active Directory the user belongs to, he can see the first 4, the last 4, or even you mask all. So basically these are very flexible rules, the user-defined functions that you can create. So now next step is I'm going to auto-generate the tags. Here, I'm going to, what we're going to do next is detect the changes. This is now we are inserting the data into the history table that we spoke about earlier. So detecting the changes in the row level security tags or the mapping table and applying those changes to the history table. And we are going to use the history data sitting in the history table to create the rules through the SQL UDFs that we have created, and we have applied them. So this is all happening automatically. So I'm going to scroll through this really quick. So basically you're applying those changes and having the tags applied. Sorry, looks like we have an issue here with the video. Okay, it's going over in a loop. So bottom line is what we have done over here is, as and when we have applied the rules and any changes that the history table has seen, so those, based on those changes, the auto tagging happens, auto UDFs are created, and they're also applied at the same time. So when a user who did not have access to the data earlier, now because I as a user did not belong to a certain group, and based on the UDFs that we have created, I did not get access. Now after we amended the rules, I was able to see the data. So based, what I'm trying to showcase here is you can change the rules based on your requirements. And that is all happening through the SQL UDFs. And then we have taken it all the way to Power BI. So now that the rules are applied and the user was not able to see the row level data or the column level data based on the rules that we have set up, right? Now we take it to the Power BI, and when we try to access the data, boom, the rules are also applicable. So no matter where you connect the data or access the data, your restriction policies that were implemented are all persisting. So sorry, my demo video had a problem, so I'm going to move on. So as next steps, based on the security, row level and column level security that we have embedded, what we have showcased is that we are able to protect our sensitive information and all the way through Power BI, and also at the same time making sure that our application is secure and robust. So as next steps, we have a couple of more capabilities that we are working on enabling, which is the CI/CD automation with cluster configuration and Databricks native repos feature. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
Mohana, do you have the slides that show the PowerPoint illustrations or any of that? Did we include that in the back end of the deck? I know that we weren't able to show that through the video, but I was not sure if we included it in the appendix. Can you just show that last page? We kind of had a thought that the video might cause a problem, so we embedded the slides in. But this is what Mohana was trying to talk about as he was describing it. We use Power BI, and what this shows us is that the row and column level security and tags that we applied, flow through to our tools of choice. So this is what the end of the demo would have looked like. So apologies for that technical mishap. Okay. So we're just going to wrap it up now, I think. Yeah. So the benefits of data management, really the two big ones that were central for us with the Unity Catalog: increased data security and compliance, and streamlining data integration and transformation process is really a wonderful tool to assist us with that. On to the next page. And finally, in conclusion, what we talked about today was how we used Unity Catalog to simplify our data governance and integration. We are using Unity Catalog as a centralized component to help us manage metadata. And we've highlighted some of the technical recommendations that we would have for you today. So happy to take any questions if you have them. I think we've got about 2.5 minutes left before they clear us out. So happy to take any questions if you have them.